Vanderbilt controls the only bridge into New York City, America's busiest port. Seizing an opportunity, he sets up a blockade.
This train will not be going any farther.
Shutting the bridge leaves millions of pounds of cargo unable to reach the rest of the country, and slowly bleeds his competitors dry. Before their stock is worthless, the presidents of the rival railroad try to sell all their shares. Word quickly reaches Wall Street, triggering a massive sell-off.
Some money in there.
New York Central shares are dropping fast.
How low?
$20 a share.
Buy everything you can. Too comfortable. Just for one.
Vanderbilt was buying all of that stock that suddenly flooded the market at rock bottom prices.
3 aces.
In just days, Vanderbilt takes control of the rival railroad, creating the largest single rail company in America.
The New York Central Railroad became the centerpiece of his empire, and it came to him as the sudden result of a skillfully executed campaign to get revenge.
Railroads soon crisscross America, tying together the country in a way that just 15 years earlier was unimaginable, and providing over 180,000 jobs. Laying tracks becomes America's engine for unprecedented growth.
Railroads allowed the industrial economy to boom in ways that it couldn't have before.
One advance after the other, which essentially was led by the railroads, largely because there was a need to close the gap between those east of the Mississippi and those on the West Coast.
Vanderbilt has made himself the undisputed king of railroads. And now he wants the world to know it. He envisions a monument that will symbolize his immense power.
Work will begin on building a new station that will bring together the three railroads, the Harlem, the Hudson, and the Central. It shall be in the heart of New York and be called the Grand Central Depot.
Thousands of workers labor over the next 2 years on the most ambitious urban construction project America has ever seen. Grand Central is the biggest building in all of New York City and the biggest train station in the country, covering some 22 acres.
This enormous building towered over every other building in New York at the time. And it was a physical symbol of the size and power of Vanderbilt's railroad empire. Its importance as a physical symbol, as a physical capital of his empire, cannot be underestimated. And it still stamps New York's geography to this day.
Vanderbilt may be on top of the world, but his blind ambition will soon make him vulnerable to a challenge coming from the most unlikely pair imaginable.
The Vanderbilt money!
The growth of the railroads thrusts America into the biggest building expansion the country has ever seen, led by a new breed of leader.
The story of America isn't just the story of the patriots that helped build the democracy. The reason the United States is the leading economy in the world is because of the work of entrepreneurs who created entire industries that propelled the United States to be the leader of the free world.
One man, Cornelius Vanderbilt, through brute force and intimidation, has made himself the undisputed king of the railroads. He now owns 40% of America's train lines. But he wants them all.
To me, it's always what's next, and I think that's what drives most very successful people. It's never about the money. I mean, that's a way of keeping score. It's about achievement, and it's about winning a game, and it's about upping the ante.
Chicago is America's fastest-growing city. The line connecting it to New York is the most traveled and valuable in all the world. And it's not Vanderbilt's. To make his empire complete, he must gain control of the Erie Line.
The Erie was one of the relatively early publicly traded corporations. Vanderbilt had the advantage of millions and millions of dollars. Deep pockets are always an advantage when you're trying to gain control of a corporation.
Vanderbilt instructs his agents to buy up as much stock as possible, demanding control of the company by the end of the week. It's a vintage Vanderbilt move, one he pioneered, known today as a hostile takeover. But his attempt will be thwarted by an even more ingenious idea, cooked up by two unknowns, Jay Gould and Jim Fisk.
All right. The mistake that the Erie Board have made is that they have telegraphed where they need to expand without securing the land first.
Gould and Fisk are stuck in middle management at the Erie, but they represent the new America that Vanderbilt is helping to create. One of self-made men with ruthless ambition. And after years of watching the Commodore dominate, they're eager to build their own empire. They recognize Vanderbilt's plan to buy the line and see the opportunity they've been waiting for.
Competition, I think it's good for the system, and it's really, I think, what most businesses is about, is doing a better job on out-hustling your competitors.
Gould and Fisk begin printing new shares of stock. Using a printing press they set up in the basement of the Erie offices. Each share they print dilutes Vanderbilt's stake in the company, and they print over 100,000.
There was some fine print in one of the clauses of the Erie's charter that allowed the board of directors to issue new stock, unbeknownst to shareholders.
Go.
And so the more shares that Vanderbilt bought, the more he had to buy in order to approach that magic majority.
Their plan is known as watering down stock. Highly illegal today. At the time, it had never been imagined. Its simplicity is brilliant. And Wall Street is never the same.
The only rule was there were no rules. Whatever it took to put your competition out of business, they were going to try to do it.
Unaware, Vanderbilt continues to buy.
Think of the look on his face. Oh, God, I wish I could be a fly on that wall.
The freshly printed shares are hand-delivered to Vanderbilt.
Here are the Erie shares. I assume we control the company now.
Toast! A toast! To money. To Vanderbilt's money.
Vanderbilt has bought $7 million of watered-down stock from Gould and Fisk. Today, worth over $1 billion. Vanderbilt has been underestimated before. But if you come at the king, you shouldn't expect to win. The greatest growth explosion in America's short life is underway. Rail lines now connect huge expanses of the country. Controlling them means having power that just 5 years earlier was unimaginable. Many are staking their claim.
I think there are people in every generation that have a vision that transcends their moment in their time.
Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt owns more miles of rail than anyone in the world. But like all men of power, he faces constant challenges.
Competition gets very aggressive. People have no idea how aggressive it is. And sometimes you don't even hear because what goes on behind your back is not a pretty picture.
At the height of his power, Vanderbilt is outsmarted by a pair of unknowns.
To Vanderbilt's money.
Jay Gould and Jim Fisk have fleeced the Commodore out of millions. And they want the world to know it.
Thank you. Don't mind if I do.
It is no secret what Vanderbilt has been trying to do. He owns more railroads than anybody else.